The four supreme grand hierophants, masters, of our beloved ancestors were called Pa-Neter Khnum, also called Knumis, Pa-Neter Anubu, also called Anubis, Pa-Neter Khonsu, also called Khenshu, and Pa-Neter Tehuti, also called Thoth. They were known as the Four Winds. Khnum was from Sunu Aswan, which is Nubia or Ta-Nehisi, Sudan, at Elephantine Island at the northern part of the first cataract of the Nile. Pa-Neter Khnum, the supreme being Khnum, was part of a triad: 1. Khnum, 2. Setet, and 3. Atet. He is the Neter supreme being of creation. He created human beings from mud, fashioned into shape or black mud. He is the God who created in the Bible Torah of the Jews, and the Allah al-Khaliq in the Quran of the Muslims, as its Khaliq, a creator. The same attributes as their God of creation, who molded human beings in his or their image and after their likeness, of the dust, clay, mud of the earth. The us or we in your Bible or Quran is Khnum's triad. As they said in Genesis 1:26, and God Elohim said, "Let us make man Adam in our own image after our likeness." However, Khnum predates both the Torah Bible of the Jews and Christians, and the Quran of the Muslims. Now you tell us, how can the name of the gods be that close, and the very story of creation be the same, unless it was taken from the Egyptians? And they were, all of them. You have more than one creation in your holy books. The first is the creation of the angelic beings, the Mala'ikat. After that you have the gods, Elohim, and after that, the Yahweh Elohim, and then the Adams and the Eves, and don't forget the Nakash or serpent. Khnum is the one who got the script or the chemical chart in the form of DNA on how to create a being in their image and after their likeness. The Elohim created the black man. The original Asiatic black man, the Hindu. Genesis 1:26-27. Black skin, straight hair, unlike the original green-skinned god with woolly hair, as the green hue of the Ethiopians. The race of Hindu or Aryans, whose spirit forces is from Nirvana, their own heaven, created a man and woman, Genesis 2:7, in their own image and after their own likeness. This Adam was alike in all ways, but in skin color he was ghost or transparent in skin, and had white thin hair with colorless eyes. He was evil by nature. From this seed was also born the blonde yellow hair, blue-eyed six ether beings, who has more than transparent skin, but has an infectious disease called leprosy, cursed seed of Canaan. Genesis 9:2, Leviticus 13:14. All this was began by the four higher races of beings: 1. The Neteru, Egypt; 2. The Anunnaki, Sumer; 3. The Namos, Mali; and 4. The Elul, in the heavens. Altogether called the Neterat, the gods, the supreme beings. The Negro race is the sons and daughters of these gods. And as such they are also gods, the children of the Most High. Khnum is Allahu al-Khaliq, but Tehuti is the one who writes and records the formula as a Neter of the Neteru. The being who came on the man-jet and landed in Sudan, Africa. Khnum was the actual alchemist, and Tehuti was the one who logs the actual act. Tehuti oversaw the project, like Enki oversaw the project of Ninti of the Anunnaki, the being who came on Nibiru and crashed down in the Persian Gulf. Khnum's job was to take the beings that are hermaphrodites and hybrids who couldn't procreate and make them into beings that can reproduce, in cycles of 9-9. Spinning of the universe of procreations had several failures, and produced a bunch of deformed beings. Albinism is one mistake of what's called ghost people before they got it right by breaking the potter's wheel. They changed the system from using the laboratory tubes and started inserting it inside of females. Khnum gave the power to procreate to female through mitochondrial DNA, which gives her the power to give birth. Mito is from Greek mitos, meaning warp thread, and chondria is from Greek chondrion, diminutive of chondros, meaning grain, granule. In Nubia, Sudan, he was known as Dadan. The Pygmies called him Khanuum, the supreme god, god of the rainbow, the actual 7 spheres that protects this planet from the rays of the sun. Genesis 9:13-16, god of the hunters, the human beast, he who kills for fun and sport. His bow was made of 2 serpents, the waters above and the waters below, and is visible to mortals as a rainbow. As you can see, these original Tarites had the name first. In time it became Khnum, the one who molded the body and breathes life into them. So he was the Neter supreme being of fertility, and the potter, Al-Musar the fashioner. When Khnum fashioned and shaped each being from black clay, he would also make their double called the Ka spirit or you, alongside of them. Male and female created he them and called their name Adam, one being, 2 parts, Genesis 5:2. They would have to become one in time. Body and spirit, the Nazif, one self. So we get the Kat body, Ba soul and Ka spirit. Your own real trinity. The 3-part you is God. All others only have Duid, 2 parts, lacking Ba the soul. This is where all of your religions got their stories from. Khnum created each being and allotted them 120 years of physical life in the light, and eternity is the next state of existence, in the pure and holy darkness in which all true supreme beings resides. To him 1,000 years of earth time was one day. It was Khnum who created the cosmic egg. The goose that laid the golden egg comes from this story. Creator of both supreme beings and mortals, Negroes supreme beings, Mongoloids, Caucasoid and others mortals. The Greeks, who also are Hebrew from Noah's grandson Javan, son of Japheth, translates his name Knumis. He is shown as a man with a ram's head very similar to a moon. The hidden name, the secret word. Even in the Bible in Revelation 3:14 all prayers ends with this name. Caucasians worship him as the goat of Baphomet or Mendes. But his horns were wavy as opposed to a moon's sweeping curves. A species of sheep possessing horns like these was Uislongipes paleoegypticos. It is now extinct. They try to make you see the goat and the ram as the same animal, when in actuality they are two separate creatures. Samael or Azazel was known as the scapegoat, not the scape ram. So their trick is to make you think that the ram was a disagreeable creature as the goat was synonymous with evil, but they are two different animals. So the trick used today, is all of the satanic cults and worshippers use the ram as their symbol to make you think that the ram was evil, and that way reverse the symbol of Ra in ancient Egypt, which was the ram into an evil symbol. Khnum's first wife Anukis is shown Wiritig the feather of the red parrot. A bird restricted to Sudan, Africa. His second wife was Satis, who was also his daughter by Anukis. Her name means she who runs like an arrow. She is shown holding a bow and arrow, and the Greek link her with Hera, daughter of Cronus or Kronos, son of Uranus and Gaia, and Rhea. So all the Greek gods come through him and his family, which came from Tar-Nahisi, Sudan. All Canaanites, white, ghost people worship Egyptian Netarot supreme beings. All Arabs also, and many just don't know the truth. Satis or Sati is also linked to Septet, or Sibtu, which the Greeks call Sothis, now called Sirius, the dog star. Satis is seen with a 5-pointed star upon her head. She was the Netart of the sunbeam as the sun illuminates the world. Khnum is also known as Knemu, Knef, Chnufis the maker of souls of the Netarot supreme beings and the spirits of the Inosa mortals by the use of the higher faculties while functioning in the physical body. Ankwit also called Noki, the Netart of the net. To live the life in the physical regardless of one's personal responsibility. Demanding that one's right be respected but ignoring the obligation to respect the rights of others. She was guardian over will. Choice given by her mate to each creator he created. To respect others' right of choice is to wear the net of Anukis, so Khnum is birth, creation, life itself. So he is one of the 4 points in existence. A prayer is said as you stand before him in the midst of the Holy of Holies shrine temple, the Black Pyramid. The universe is mental and physical held in the mind of the All, which are in all. The All is physical and all is spirit. But what is spirit? There are many degrees or vibrational modes to spiritual existence or spirit beings. This question cannot be answered by just saying the spirit is this or that, body or exoplasma. The reason is that its definition is practically that the All is a form of God, which cannot be explained or defined in religion or faith, but science is the key. Spirit is simply a name that mortals give to the highest conception of infinite living mind. It means the real essence, it means living mind, as much superior to life and mind as we know them, as the latter are superior to mechanical energy and matter. Spirit does not transcend our overstanding. Spirit is us, just as matter is us, and the emotional us is soul, and we use the term merely that we may think or speak of the All as other than us. The All is the Son of all. For the purposes of thought and overstanding, we are justified in thinking of spirit as infinite living mind, at the same time acknowledging that we can fully overstand Ka spirit, Ba soul and Kat body. We must either do this or stop thinking of the matter at all, because all things that matter has spirit and if it cares it has soul. Let us now proceed to a consideration of the nature of the universe, as a whole and in its parts. What is the universe? We have seen that there can be nothing outside of all. Then is the universe all? No, but it's the all, as you are a universe. But the universe cannot be all because the universe seems to be made up of man-made particles of matter, and is constantly changing, and in other ways it does not measure up to the ideas that we are compelled to accept regarding all, as stated in our last degree. Then if the universe be not all, but in all, then it must be something or things as it is, such as the inevitable conclusion of the mind at first thought and has been proven. But this will not satisfy the question, for we are sensible of the existence of the universe and that tells us that it's the all not all. Then if the universe is the all and not all, nor nothing, but something, what can it be? Let us examine this question. If the universe exists at all, or seems to exist, it must proceed in some way from all, it must be a creation of all, created as the all in which things exist. But as something can never come from nothing, from what could all have created it? It was not created, it always existed, because even time would exist and all as a part of the all. Some wise men have answered this question by saying that all created the universe, the all from itself, and that's true, that is, from the being and substance of all. You get the all, but this will not do, for all cannot be subtracted from, nor divided, as we have seen, and then again if this be so, would not each particle in the universe be aware of its being? Yes, but as the all in all could not lose its knowledge of itself, nor actually become an atom, or blind force, or lowly living thing. This is the job of the all. Some mortals indeed, realizing that all is indeed all, and also recognizing that they, the mortals, existed, have jumped to the conclusion that they and the all were identical, and they have filled the air with shouts of "I am God," to the amusement of the multitude and the sorrow of sages, for this is very true. All is God and God is in all. The claim of the corpuscle that, "I am flesh," would be modest in comparison and limited. But, what indeed is the universe? Look at it this way. Uni 1, verse against oneness. You see the trick in the word. So all is against oneness or individualism, which is separation into parts. If it be not all, not yet created by all, having separated itself into fragments as the all or all things? What else can it be? Of what else can it be made? And of what else can it be created or grown? This is the great question, and it's simple. The all is, I am, and I would not be, if all wasn't. Let us examine it carefully. We find here that the doctrine of correspondence comes to our aid. The old Egyptian axiom, as above, so below, may be pressed into service at this point. But to really say as above, so below, again is a form of separation to make you think there is really an above separated from a below. Think for a moment and you will see right through that trick. It's the same as separating the waters on earth by names, and you begin to accept the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, as two separate masses of waters when they are not. Let us endeavor to get a glimpse of the workings on higher planes by examining those on our own. You see, there it is again, higher planes. The doctrine of correspondence must apply to this as well as to other problems. Let us see, on their own plane of being, how do mortals create? Well, first, they may create by making something out of outside materials. But this will not do, for there are no materials outside of all with which it may create. But it may be made or shaped and fashioned. Well, then, secondly, mortals procreate or reproduce their kind b by the process of begetting, which is self-multiplication accomplished by transferring a portion of his substance to their offspring to grow in the womb. But this will not do, because all cannot transfer or subtract a portion of itself, all cannot grow, the all can. But all cannot become less than all and remain all, nor can it reproduce or multiply itself in the first place. There would be a taking away, and in the second case a multiplication or addition to all, both thoughts being an absurdity. Each new thing in all is not new but was always there. You are not something new, as a new outside creation. That's why the real meaning of creation is to grow. You are here, was there, and will be everywhere at all times. Is there no third way in which mortals create? Yes, there is. They create mentally. And in so doing they use no outside materials, nor do they reproduce themselves, and yet their spirit pervades the mental creation. Following the doctrine of correspondence, we are justified in considering that all creates the universe mentally as the all, in a manner akin to the process whereby mortals create mental images. As image merely means imagination, as figure merely means the number figure, or a picture figure. And, here is where the report of reason tallies precisely with the report of the working mind, as shown by the teachings and writings. Such are the teachings of Tehuti. Such is the teaching of the ancient Egyptian order. All can create in no other way except mentally, and that takes place inside all, as it does inside as the all without either using material, and there is none to use if all is all, or else reproducing itself, which is also impossible, if you see it as creating, making, fashioning, or growing outside of itself as the fools of religion want you to believe. There is no reason, which, as we have said, agrees with the highest teachings of the working mind. Just as you, student of the ancient Egyptian order, may create a universe of your own in your mentality, so does all create universes in its own mentality, of which we all are a art. But your universe is the mental creation of a finite mind. The all is within it, whereas that of all is the creator of infinite and finite. The two are really one a kind, but infinitely different in degree. We shall examine more closely into the process of creation and manifestation, as we proceed. But this is the point to fix in your minds at this stage. The universe, and all it contains, is a mental creation of all. Verily, indeed, all is mental, and the mind and the all are in all. The all exists in its infinite mind countless universes, which exist for eons of time, and yet, to the all, the creation, development, decline and death of a million universes is as the time of the twinkling of an eye. The All thinks things into being, yet doing this great work as a part of all. The infinite mind of the All is the womb of universes, and finite breathing life in all living things. The doctrine of gender is manifested on all planes of life, material, mental and spiritual. But, as we have said before, gender does not mean sex. Sex is merely a material manifestation of gender. And that's deceiving, for each male is female and each female is male at conception. Gender means relating to generation or creation, not really which sex you are. And wherever anything is generated or created, on any plane, the doctrine of gender must be manifested. And this is true even in the creation of universes. Now do not jump to the conclusion that we are teaching that there is a male and female creator. All is not male or female but in fact both. The creator being a male as God or Allah is he who creates, or Elohim said let us create man. That idea is merely a distortion of the ancient teachings on the subject. For in all of them you find the plural for God, not single. Even the Trinity is a confession. 1. Father, 2. Son, 3. Holy Ghost. Allah has 99 attributes or titles, but he is also a plural in the Quran as Al-Haadi. But again, they give this creator a gender, he. The true teaching is that the All, in itself, is above gender being both male and female, as it is above every other law, including those of time and space. But of object or thing we have who is first to deal with. It is the law, from which the laws proceed, and it is not subject to them. But when the All manifests on the plane of generation or creation, then it acts according to law and doctrine, for it is Yaa-Nun, moving on a lower plane of being. And is now known as the Mother, through mitochondria DNA. And this newfound fact proves all monotheistic religions, Mosesism, Christism, and Mohammedism have been wrong. All the time God is not a he if scientists have proved it to be a fact, a she as the ancient Egypt has been saying all along. As the center of physical creation being Taurit or Taurit, as the Greeks call her Theris, patroness of birth and reproduction. And consequently, it manifests the doctrine of gender, in its masculine and feminine aspects, on the mental plane. Of course, if she is female there must be the male doctrine within her to create it from herself. This idea may seem startling to some of you who hear it for the first time, but you have all really passively accepted it in your everyday conceptions. You come from your mother's womb, not your father's. Women give birth to the child, she shapes and fashions it in her womb. You speak of the fatherhood of God, and the motherhood of nature. God is a part of nature, so God had to be born of a mother. So you created your Jesus Christ story so that God could be born from Mary his mother. The divine father, and nature, the universal mother, is all wrong. The divine who works through nature with this fact, and have thus instinctively acknowledged the doctrine of gender in the universe. Is this not so? And the Egyptian teaching does not imply a real duality. All is all, not one. The two aspects are merely aspects of manifestation. The teaching is that the masculine doctrine manifested by all, stands wrong in all ways, apart from the actual mental creation of the universe. It projects its will toward you, which may also be called nature, whereupon the latter begins the actual work of the evolution of the universe, from simple centers of female activity on to male, even the word shows male and female. Not the other way around, and then on and on still higher, all according to well-established and firmly enforced laws of the divine working through herself as Mother Nature. If you prefer the old figures of thought, you may think of the masculine doctrine as God, the Father, Allah, Adonia, Christ, Jehovah, Lord, and of the feminine doctrine as nature, but you are now proven wrong. The universal mother is the master key, from whose womb all things have been born. This is more than a mere poetic figure of speech, it is an idea of the actual process of the creation of the universe. But always remember, that all is not one, and that in its infinite mind the universe is generated, created and exists beyond gender. It may help you to get the proper idea. If you will, apply the law of correspondence to yourself, and your own mind. You know that the part of you, which you call I, in a sense, stands apart and witnesses the creation of mental images in your own mind. The part of your mind in which the mental generation is accomplished may be called the me, in distinction from the I, which stand apart and witnesses and examines the thoughts, ideas and images of the me. As above so below, remember, and the phenomena of one plane may be employed to solve the riddles of higher or lower planes. Is it any wonder that you, the child, feel that instinctive reverence for all as a part of the all, which feeling we call religion, that respect, and reverence for the mother mind? Is it any wonder that, when you consider the works and wonders of nature, you are overcome with a mighty feeling which has its roots way down in your inmost being? It is the mother mind that you are pressing close up to, like a babe to the breast. Do not make the mistake of supposing that the little world you see around you, the earth, which is a mere grain of dust in the universe, is the universe itself. There are millions upon millions of such worlds, and greater. And there are millions of such universes in existence within the infinite mind of all, and you can and will visit all of them on this great journey. And even in our own little solar system, in your solar plex, there are regions and planes of life far higher than yours, and beings compared to which you earthbound mortals are as the slimy life forms that dwell on the ocean's bed when compared to mortals. There are beings with powers and attributes higher than mortals have ever dreamed of, the gods you worship, possessing the Netarot supreme beings. And yet these beings were once as you, and still lower, and you will be even as they, and still higher, in time, for such is the destiny of mortals as reported by the working minds. And death is not real, even in the relative sense, it is but birth to a new life in all, and you shall go on, and on, and on, to higher and still higher planes of life, for eons upon eons of time. The universe is your home, and you can never explore its farthest recesses nor reach the end of time, for they don't exist in all. You are dwelling in the finite link to the infinite I mind of all, and your possibilities and opportunities are not limited, both in time and space. And at the end of the grand cycle of eons, when all shall draw back into itself all of its creations, you will go gladly, for you will then be able to know the whole truth of being at one with all. Such is the report of the Creator Master Tehuti, those who have advanced well along the path. And, in the meantime, rest calm and serene, you are safe and protected by the infinite power of the Mother Mind, manifested as the Father Protector called best. Within the Mother Mind, mortal children are at home. There is not one who is motherless in the universe.